Another Monday morning of terror. This time, the weapon of choice, self-destructing drones. More than 20 of them targeted the capital, flying low overhead as police and soldiers aim towards the sky. On the street, people ran for cover as gunfire mixed with the sound of explosions.
It just comes out of nowhere. You know, people running all over the place, and they don't know what to do, where to hide anymore.
Ukraine says it managed to shoot down the majority of the drones, but not all of them. One hit an apartment building, trapping residents inside. At least 4 were killed, including a young woman who was pregnant. This man lived in the building next door. After the first explosion, people started shouting, second blast, third blast, fourth blast, he says. Rescue crews spent hours going through the rubble. The latest residential building hit in what Russia has called an attack on Ukraine's critical infrastructure.
The Russians want to make the humanitarian catastrophe in our hometown and also at the same time destroy the buildings.
Ukraine says Russia bought these drones from Iran. Analysts say Russia isn't using them widely on the battlefield, but rather in urban centers.
It mostly seeks to keep Ukrainians, and by that I mean Ukrainian citizens, on their toes and inflict as much damage as possible to civilian infrastructure, basically to make Ukrainians' lives miserable.
Officials say what happened today is an example of why this country needs more sophisticated air defense systems, and NATO countries say more are on the way. In the meantime, officials are urging residents to not try and shoot down the drones themselves and leave that up to the military. Briar Stewart, CBC News, Kyiv.
The use of suicide drones on this scale, also known as loitering munitions, is new in this war. David Common is here for a closer look at them.
Adrienne, they are deadly, but not that sophisticated. Best used against non-moving targets. That means civilians are getting hit. Ukraine believes Russia ordered 2,400 of these drones from Iran. The Shahed 136, they cost about $20,000 each. That's cheap for military hardware. They can stay airborne for hours, giving the Russians time to find a target, and then they crash those drones into that target. Packed with explosives, they cause significant damage. Russia is turning to drones because, quite simply, they're running out of missiles. Sanctions are making it hard to source parts to build new ones. These drones fly slow and low, and that's why we saw Ukrainian soldiers firing at them today. In one attack, they took most of them down, but these drones are cheap, so Russia uses a swarm of them, multiple drones in the same area all at once. Only one, Adrienne, needs to get through.
So, David, what's the strategy here?
Well, strike fear for one. Civilians are getting hit where they had been relatively safe before. Also, hit energy infrastructure, especially as colder weather demands heat, and prevent Ukraine from exporting electricity to Europe. Freeze those others out too, in the hopes the Europeans will buckle and push Ukraine to negotiations. This is Russia's war, but others have been dragged in. NATO is indirectly fighting Russia by providing weapons, training, and intel to Ukraine. Now Iran is part of it too. And that makes this a bigger conflict and a more dangerous one too.
All right, David Common, thank you.